Another great way of learning to juggle your states are martial arts, or actually internal martial arts. It's what I'm doing, and there's a big pro. Your body's involved. And state change is always easier when your body's involved too. So for example, this is something obvious, but it's a really good example. So if you want to get in this state of being joyous and happy, then why not just put on some music and get dancing, It will immediately change the way you feel and so your state, right? So physical change always makes it easier. Another thing I want to mention, state is always something you feel. It's a feeling and it's not a thought. So thinking about, okay, now I want to be positive, or now I want to be really connective, that won't do the trick. You might want to think about it in order to practice, but the state itself is not about thoughts, it's about feelings. So faking a state won't work, and in the beginning it's hard to get that state genuinely and feel it genuinely when you want it. So the states are gonna come and go naturally, but learning to have them when you want it and have the specific state when you want it is gonna take practice. And what you can also do to practice, what I'm doing right now, is just as an example, I want to be joyous more often. I just have this state of lightheartedness and joy. And so what I'm doing is every time I'm thinking of that, or actually I have a reminder in my phone that says practice state of joy. And I know it's ridiculous, but I just, when I see that reminder, or when I think about, oh right, I wanted to be more joyous, I wanted to have that be a state of mind that I have often, then I'm just going in that moment, I'm just starting to smile and be happy and make a joke when I'm around people and just practice it for no reason, just for the reason to practice it. And so I'm gonna be happy and joyous without having a reason for it. Because the trick for practicing these states is that the more often you have a state, the more used your brain will become to it. And the more used it becomes to it, the more natural it comes, and the more natural it becomes. So if there's a state you really want to have, just make sure you have it a lot of the time. I would say that the state you're in most often, which would be, throughout the day for hours every day, determines your life and your general experience of life and also the results you get. So what's your major state? What's your main state you're in most often? That would be a cool thing to figure out. And if it's a state you don't really like that much, how can you change it? If it's a state you love, well, great, well done. You're gonna see the results probably by now. So really a state is, of course, it's a feeling, but it's also in your brain. It's about which brain areas are activated. And you have different brain areas for different emotions and for different capabilities of taking in information and just processing the world. So the area, if you would look at a photograph of your brain, depending on the state, different areas would be lit and you would see them active. That's just the science behind it. You don't need that for practice. For practice, it's just important to get yourself into the state for a longer period of times if you want that state. So if I want the state of being joyous and happy, then I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna put myself in that state for hours. And you can help yourself doing that by just doing activities that put you in the state naturally. Or if you can't do that because you don't have the time, just be conscious about it and try to force yourself into that state. And of course, for juggling the states, what you want to do is you want to develop a method like meditation, martial arts, some kind of sports can also do the trick, or some mindfulness or awareness practice that lets you see the state and awarely put it in or out. Okay? So, if you have any questions, contact me in the comments. I really like this topic because state management is really the one high performer tool. It's the one thing you want to be able to do, and it's also the thing that makes life more interesting, because people who can decide their states don't only have an easier time, but they're also more attractive to be around generally. You know, this person where something happens to them and they're just still joyous just because they don't see why they should change their state to a negative one. But in order to become such a person, you must become aware and conscious of your states. So, see you in the comments if you have questions, and otherwise, see you in the next video.